We don't have the insight into ourselves to know what we want to do right off the bat. I mean, in the arc of my life, I'm still kind of just getting started, so we're all just sort of fumbling through life, pathetically trying to figure out what makes us happy, right? So, and I think a large part of school is, I talked to my friend Matt about his experience in school, and he said the only thing he learned while in his like 6-year academic career was what he didn't want to do with his life. So it's just a process of elimination. We all know we want to express ourselves, we want to make things, but we don't maybe know what it is yet. You know, I kind of went through like a period of, soul searching when about maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and came to the conclusion that like I liked painting way more than I really had ever been given it credit for. And so I started exploring more and going to more galleries and openings and museums. I mean, I didn't really know anything about even art history, and I mean, I knew, the obvious ones that you learn in school or whatever, but I never had any kind of like fine art education. There's also a value to like figuring things out yourself. I mean, and that relates a lot to, I think, like the punk scene that I was involved in before. Is like, it was a real DIY scene, and things were created not because we all like went to music school and understood what a arpeggiated whatever the fuck is. It was just about like emoting, right? It was about the expression of it rather than the technical prowess of it. Take for example this hardcore band, and I still consider one of the best shows I ever saw in my life, is this band called Reversal of Man from Florida. And they weren't technically good. Like the guitar player wasn't throwing down some kind of crazy complicated solos or anything, but their energy level and the sort of, the authenticity of their output and like their expression just seemed so strong. It just floored everybody in the room. If there's like a fine art equivalent of that, that's what I'm trying to convey, is that soul doesn't exist in the technically perfect. I have lots of friends who are just fucking brilliant, but they don't show anybody what they do, and I don't seem that troubled by showing people what I do, is partly because I've been doing so and fumbling through it, the process of showing people, since I was 12, right? Like I was playing in my first punk band in front of people when I was 12 years old, and it was ridiculous music. Like looking back on it now, I'm sure, I'm not saying anything bad about any things I've done necessarily, but like, of course, think about if you kept a diary when you were 12 and now you're reading it as like a 34-year-old, of course it's embarrassing, right? But maybe since that diary is already out there, and like there are, I think, tens of thousands of people who have read this diary. I think the biggest selling album I've ever put out is the very first one we ever did. So that's already out there, like I don't really have like any thing left to be embarrassed about it. And so maybe that's just part of it, and maybe it comes across as like a certain confidence, and I guess in some abstract way it is a confidence, but it's only confident in the way that like, fuck, who cares? This is just understanding that like if somebody doesn't like it, then that's totally okay. Hi, my name's Andy Dixon, and I'm an artist.